Welcome back to Old Studio Car, the channel where we dive deep into the most fascinating classics ever built. Today we're taking a close look at a car that still manages to turn heads nearly 90 years after it first hit the road. This is the 1937 Cord 812 Phaeton Convertible, a car that stood at the cutting edge of design and engineering in its time and continues to be celebrated as one of the most unique American automobiles ever made. At first glance, the Cord 812 doesn't look like any other car of the 1930s. While most manufacturers stuck to the traditional upright grilles and conservative lines, Cord went bold, futuristic, and elegant. The exterior remains one of its strongest talking points, and in this updated review we can really appreciate how advanced it was. The famous coffin nose hood design was unlike anything on the road, hiding the radiator behind horizontal louvers rather than a conventional grille. The car sits low, with flowing fenders and a stance that feels decades ahead of its time. The convertible Phaeton body style adds even more sophistication, with a long hood, a sleek profile, and seating that still feels open and stylish. The hidden headlamps are another standout feature. Today we're used to pop-up lights on cars from the 1970s and 80s, but Cord was the very first American manufacturer to use retractable headlights, and they were operated by small hand cranks inside the cabin. When you look at the car from the front, the flush design gives it a smooth and aerodynamic appearance, something very few cars of that era could claim. The chrome accents around the windshield and bumpers provide just enough sparkle without overwhelming the design, and the overall look of the 812 remains both elegant and sporty, a balance very few cars have ever achieved. Now let's move to performance. Under the hood, the 1937 Cord 812 came with a 4.7-liter Lycoming V8 engine. This motor produced around 125 horsepower in the naturally aspirated version, and up to 170 horsepower when equipped with the optional supercharger. The supercharged cars could be identified by their distinctive external chrome exhaust pipes running from the sides of the hood. This engine was paired with a 4-speed electrically shifted pre-selector transmission, another revolutionary feature at the time. Instead of a traditional gear lever, drivers would select gears using a small lever on the steering column, and then the car would shift electronically when the clutch was engaged. The Cord 812 was also front-wheel drive, a rarity in American cars of the 1930s. This allowed for the low stance and flat floor, which not only gave the car its signature look but also improved handling and interior space. With its advanced suspension and front-wheel drive layout, the car handled with more confidence than most of its contemporaries. In terms of maximum speed, the Cord 812 could reach up to 110 miles per hour in its supercharged form, which was a serious number in the 1930s and still respectable for a car of its age. The naturally aspirated model managed around 90 to 95 miles per hour. Fuel economy, by modern standards, was not impressive, but considering the technology of the time, it averaged about 10 to 12 miles per gallon. These numbers remind us that the Cord was never about efficiency, it was about pushing the boundaries of performance and style. When it comes to price, the Cord 812 Phaeton Convertible was never cheap, and today it's even more of a collector's gem. In 1937, the base price of a Cord Phaeton was around $2,900, which placed it firmly in the luxury category, competing with Packard, Lincoln, and Cadillac. Adjusted for inflation, that would be roughly $60,000 in today's money. But on the current collector car market, things have changed dramatically. Well-preserved or fully restored examples of the 1937 Cord 812 Phaeton can fetch anywhere from $150,000 to over $300,000, depending on originality, condition, and whether or not the car is supercharged. The 1937 Cord 812 Phaeton Convertible is more than just a car. It's a statement of what happens when design and engineering meet fearless creativity. It stood out in its time and still looks futuristic today. From the coffin nose to the hidden headlights, from the front-wheel drive to the innovative transmission, this car was decades ahead of its competition. That wraps up our updated review on the Cord 812 Phaeton Convertible. If you're fascinated by cars that were truly ahead of their time, this is one that belongs at the very top of the list. Thanks for watching Old Studio Car, where the classics never die. Don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the legends of automotive history.